everyone. This is the Crimson Cure, welcoming you to the Crimson Tower, a place where we keep a feminine foot on the neck of the gynocracy, feminism, and black male misandry. So go ahead, pull up a chair, stay a while, and listen.
We're A-Game, a 100% Black-owned company with an all-natural product and world-class customer service. We're headquartered in California, and we manufacture, package, and ship right here in the United States. We ship to more than 125 distributors worldwide. Normal processing is 2 to 3 days, and we employ virtual tracking until our product is received. So, no matter where you are in the world, here we come, and we're bringing your A-game.
Hey there, my Crimsonites. How are we doing today? Can you guys hear me? You guys hear me clearly? Wondering if this mic is gonna pick up. Maybe I should scoot up a little bit. Oh. Hey, so who we got? We got Malika, we got C, we got Christopher Harlan. How are you? We got Sandra, we got Jonas. How are we, everybody? Yep, it's Monday. I'm gonna apologize ahead of time for my energy level. I feel okay, but Ramadan is a test and a trial, and we're on the last few days of it, and so my energy is down now because I'm barely eating, like I'm not really hungry. So when it's time to break fast, I'm like drinking water. And the last 2 days, I've eaten nothing but like a Caesar salad. And put like a sear ahi steak on there for the protein. And just trying to take my vitamins and stuff so I can have some micronutrients. But these last couple of days I'm not really eating much. It gets to a point where you can't. Like you can't. Hey Chano, it's been a long time since I seen you, sweetie. How you been? You get to a point where you kind of can't eat too much. Kind of forcing food down because your stomach is like small. You know what I mean? It's even worse in the summer when the days are like 18 hours or so or more. So that explains my energy level. Wa alaikum assalam, Dominant. Eid Mubarak to you as well. So speaking of that, I'm gonna be real quick. Either Wednesday or Thursday, Ramadan is a month long, Sandra. So either Wednesday or Thursday is going to be the end of Ramadan. And on that day, whatever day that our holiday falls, it's called Eid al-Fitr. I don't expect you to be able to repeat that. But it's the celebration after Ramadan. To basically a completed Ramadan. And on that day, I am not going to have a live stream. It's like our one holiday that we get. And I always take it. Whether I'm at work or whatever. I always take that day. It's like the one day. There's one other day that's after the Hajj season, you know, where all the Muslims go to Mecca. But I don't usually celebrate that day because I've never been on Hajj before. I mean, it's not a requirement. It's just that The Ramadan celebration is significant to me because I worked for it. If that makes sense. I worked for it. Hey, Chris. So since I work for my holiday, I always take it. So I am not likely to be doing a show on Eid, whichever day that falls. Probably going to be a Wednesday or a Thursday of this week. So I want y'all to be prepared for that. So if you don't see me, that's going to be why. I'm probably going to post it on my community tab. Hey, my love is divine. How you doing, sweetie? So we'll get around to a knock it off. Definitely. We'll definitely get around to a knock it off. You say your neighbor's children are teaching your other children. Okay. I don't qualify for paying zakat, but I do pay sadaqah fitr. I'll be able to pay zakat probably later on. Hopefully by next year I'll be eligible to pay zakat. But I do pay the sadaqah. I'm sorry for using so many Arabic words. I'm talking to Dominic. I know that he understands that. So my apologies to everyone else. I don't mean to exclude you. So, what are we talking about today? Today we are discussing the reason why today's women are unfulfilled. And what do I mean by that? A lot of women today are able to do a lot of things. Today's Western women, American women, and any woman in a Western culture are probably some of the most liberated women in the world, and that there has really ever been in modern history. Okay. Today's women are libertines. We don't have cultural restrictions, not any that are strictly enforced, really. We are not restricted from things like being out and traveling without a man. Okay? In Islam, you can't do long haul travels without a man. Father, brother, husband, son, whomever. We're not under the restriction of clothing. Okay? So as women of the Western world, we are not required to wear any particular clothes or not wear any particular clothing. We're free to wear what we want to wear, how we want to wear it. Hey, Torian, thank you, sweethearts. I see you laid back in the made for one sofa, looking all oracle-ish and whatnot. You silly. I'm trying to, lay back today. I can sit up a little straighter, though. We're not required to do any particular thing. Even in our relationships and marriages, there are not any restrictions for women how to get out of them. There is no fault divorce. So we can, as simply as we went down to the justice of the peace to get a marriage license, is as simple as going down to the courthouse and filing a petition for a divorce decree. And we don't have to prove any particular wrongdoing of the man in order to get granted a divorce, which is what no fault divorce means. We're able to work wherever we're qualified to work, move wherever we're qualified to move. It's not like other countries like the Middle East, where in some of those countries women are forbidden to drive. You know, some of them are forbidden to do certain kinds of work. And just a whole host of other things that Western women don't have to worry about. So you would think that under such conditions of near absolute freedom, as absolute as you're going to get in a civilized society, you would think that women would be on the whole much happier than a woman, let's say, in Arabia, or a woman that lives in Palestine, or a woman that lives in Iran. Would you guys agree with that? That on the whole, with all of these liberties and freedoms, women should be happier than a woman that is supposedly living under an oppressive culture. Yes, that puts lots of rules on her and expectations. See, women don't have a whole lot of hard set expectations. Not really. So would you guys agree that today's women should be rather happy? Right. Now here's my next question. Do you agree or disagree that women today are largely unhappy? 1, for you agree that they are unhappy. 2, if you disagree that today's women are on the whole unhappy. Sharita McKeithen, hi. I've never seen your name before, but welcome. Right, Christopher. By feminist logic, Western women should be happier. Right. But we all know that they are not. And a better word for happy is fulfillment. Women are not fulfilled. They're not fulfilled. That's what's wrong. Women can find some fleeting enjoyment, right? She can enjoy being in a society that doesn't truly harshly castigate her for having a lot of sexual partners. It's not strict. There may be a little bit social dynamics to it. Oh, we don't want women with high body counts and blah, 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 blah. But they are not, in this country and Western countries like it, women are not punished for having multiple sexual partners. And we're not shunned out of society for having them either. In other parts of the world, you get shunned. Like you get exiled out of the group for being a known loose woman. See, your average American woman is considered very loose in other cultural norms. In other cultures, we as American women have a horrible reputation for that. And we would not be looked at in any way, shape, or form in terms of wives or women that are taken seriously, or really even women that are included in the social group. We really wouldn't be able to be included in the social group. we would be excluded. Hey, blessing for you. How you doing, sweetie? Thank you, Channel, for the cash out. We're very much appreciated. So, in other cultures, American women are not looked upon favorably. And that's for a couple of reasons. Due to our libertine way of living and way of thinking, our progressive so-called way of looking at life and living life, we have achieved moments of fleeting happiness or enjoyment. But what has eluded us is contentment and fulfillment. Now, one would ask, well, what would make a woman fulfilled? If being free to do pretty much whatever she wants, is, as long as it's within the confines of the law of the land, why wouldn't these women be fulfilled? What can fulfill a human being aside from freedom to do pretty much whatever you're grown enough to do? That's a good question. What does fulfill a person? I want a little bit of crowd participation. Just give me your thoughts. The first thing that pops up in your head. What fulfills a person? What are some things that might actually lead a person to contentment and fulfillment in their lives? C said, fulfilling the purpose you were created for. Said, love this topic because that is exactly how it is in my country, and you are not going to marry no guy from my village. You have to go to another village or either come to the States. Exactly. What country are you from? Just out of curiosity. Blessing. Having purpose, Jeremiah said. My love is divine said healthy, happy family. Ray said goals. Ray Adams said peace. C hit the nail on the head. What brings a person fulfillment is the fulfilling of the purpose for which we were created. Simply put. And in today's society, our progressive way of living has actually stripped specifically women away from the purpose. See, if you ask any random woman on the street, what is her female nature and what is her purpose for being on this earth, you might get anywhere from a blank look because she doesn't know what you're talking about, or you will get some arbitrary list of things that she thinks she's supposed to be doing, or some list of tasks that she thinks she's supposed to be completing. But all in all, for the most part, probably excepting a few women that you might run into, the women won't know what their purpose is. The purpose for us being here and for us being women, the females of the group. And I'm pointing it out for females because the expectation for men, even under this progressive society, has not changed much. We still want men to perform the 4 P's. We want him to have provision, problem solving, procreation, and I always miss one. protection. We want men to do that. No matter how progressive or libertine we become as a society, we always want men to perform those functions. Oh, you from Honduras and St. Vincent? Oh, okay, that's cool. Christopher Holland says women are best fulfilled when their men are liberated and they have a role in enhancing their kingdom and having their multidimensional lives provided for. So indeed, they're moving through life without purpose. And that's the main reason why women today are unfulfilled, because we don't know our purpose. Like earlier today in the video that I dropped, I was talking about how we were not taught femininity. We all are born with our female nature. We're just born with that. No one has to teach us female nature. They don't have to give it to us. We already have it. Now they may have to tell us what it is if we want to start listing out what's actually in our nature, which I'm going to show you in a moment. But no one has to give us female nature. What we do have to be taught is femininity. We have to be taught how to display our female nature properly. Okay? We have to be taught womanhood. We have to be groomed into womanhood. Now, the nuances of that are going to change depending upon culture, but the concept is universal. In order for women to understand how to display their femininity, how to utilize their female nature properly, we have to be taught that. That's not something that we inherently know, which is the same thing for men and their masculinity. They have their male nature. No one has to give them that. However, men need to be taught masculinity, how to display the traits of their male nature, which is why fathers and stuff like that are so important, particularly to men, and men having those mentors or their father or some other man to actually look up to show him this is how you behave as a man. This is how you act as a man. What's going on, Bishop? And Bishop can attest to this, as well as the other men in the chat. But I know that Bishop has grown up in a patriarchal family. So he'll be able to attest that no one had to tell him about his male nature, but what they did have to do, and he relied upon his father, his grandfather, his uncles, and any other men in his family and in the group to teach him how to display his masculinity, how to utilize his male nature properly and live a proper life as a man. Got to be taught that. And as well, his sisters, I believe, and he watched his sisters and other young women in the family get taught by mom and grandma and church mothers how to cultivate femininity. Needs to be taught. So why am I saying all of this? I'm saying all of this because this is why women are going here and there doing whatever, because we're looking for fulfillment and can't find it. We're looking for how to truly feel content in this life, and we aren't able to find it like our foremothers did. See, the lie of feminism is to tell us that our foremothers were not fulfilled because they were not free. And so feminism said, we'll give you women all the freedom you can handle to find your own contentment and happiness and fulfillment, unlike your grandmothers and your great-grandmothers and your mother. You're gonna have a better life than they had, and you're gonna be happier than they were, because look at all of the requirements that they had to go through. They had to do what their men said. They had to be, under the watchful eyes of their families, of their communities. They had to keep up appearances. They had to make sure that this was intact and that was intact. And it was a lot of pressure on the women. Well, if we remove the pressure, listen, let me tell you something. Your mother and grandmother were miserable women. These were miserable women. The lives that they lived were miserable lives. So we're going to liberate you from your mother and your foremothers' miserable existences by giving you freedom. We are going to unleash all of the social shackles. Okay, so that there aren't any hard and fast social rules for women to stick to. And we're going to make all kinds of headway. And we're going to make sure that you're able to do whatever you want. You shouldn't have to be worried about being married at a young age. This is if the boys can sow their wild oats, so should you. You should be able to do exactly what they do, because men have long ruled everything and they didn't have any restrictions. They were free, which was a lie. And, they've been enjoying a time putting their foot on your neck to make sure you can't do anything. And this is just out of spite that they've done this. So what we're going to do is we're going to release those shackles from you, and we're going to make you as free as we possibly can under the law. And with that freedom should automatically come happiness and contentment and fulfillment. Listen, you'll be fulfilled if you do what the men do. You'll be fulfilled if you can work in the same fields that the men work. You'll be fulfilled if you can go to the same school and you can study the same thing and you can get the same job and you can marry when you want and you can sow your wild oats and you can have children later in life or not at all. And you don't have to be married and you don't have to do this and you don't have to do that. And we're going to make sure you don't have to do it. Because not only are we going to make it socially acceptable, we're going to codify it into law that you don't have to do these things and no one can make you do these things. And your fulfillment will come when you are able to live your life the way men live their lives. Because doesn't equality sound good? Shouldn't you be able to live your life exactly the way a man lives his life and not be ridiculed for it? Of course you should. And that should give you ultimate fulfillment and ultimate happiness and contentment in your life. Well, well, well. I wonder where the lies are. Because here we are, a good 60 to 70 years post-feminism, or more if you want to count first wave feminism. But the sticking point for me is second wave feminism. First wave, I can kind of let that go to be able to vote and stuff. I can kind of let that go. Second wave, I can't let go. We're living post-modern feminism. And all of the freedoms that they said we would have, we have. They kept up that part. I'm able to go and come when I want. No one's going to stop me. No one's going to, if I step out the house right now, no one's going to question me about, well, where's your husband? Where's the man that looks after you? Does he know you're out? If I were to take my hijab off, Allah forbid, and go outside without it on, no one's going to question me. No one's going to say, hey, you're Muslim and aren't you supposed to have your hijab on? Where's that? Go back in the house and put it on. No one's going to say. Okay? If I want to go out and party and drink and have sex with a bunch of guys tonight, no one's going to say, hey, you woman, you can't do that. You're not free to come to the bar and to leave with all these men and dance nasty with these guys. You're not allowed. No one's going to say that to me in this country, because I have the freedom to do that. I have the right. As far as this country's laws are concerned, I am a grown woman and I have the right to go and come as I please without being harassed or questioned. Right? Right. So why are all of these grown women not fulfilled with that level of freedom? Thank you, Kiam. So unfortunately, they aren't willing to become more feminine. You and others online are getting nothing but excuses and pushback, even if it means ultimately losing the Black community. Thank you, Dreamin' Jay, for the Cash App. Greatly appreciate that. But we're unfulfilled with all of the freedom, no shackles. Women are still complaining about, that we're so free. I'm going to tell you how free we are. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to know how free women are, how unburdened we are in this society. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to know a sign of how unburdened women are in this society. Want to know how we know we're unburdened? Because we have to make up stuff to be mad at. We actually have to make up things to be mad at. Thank you, Jeremy said peace be unto you. Kendra, hit the like button. Please hit the like button. We got 94 wonderful Crimsonites and only 67 likes. We have to make up stuff to be mad about. We gotta make up stuff like they're body shaming us, they're fat shaming us, they're the stigma of women, and we have to be body shamed. I should be able to be 400 pounds and not have anyone to talk about with me. And everybody's gonna cater to me. I'm not gonna lose any weight or try to be healthy or anything like that. But, I'm gonna complain if people don't like how big I am, or, if clothing stores don't make stuff in a 6X. The ones I want, the skirt that I want, because somehow I think I'm gonna look really, really cute in a pencil skirt as big as I am, and I'm mad that they don't make the pencil skirt bigger. I'm mad that the modeling industry likes model size women, and I think that they should have overweight women. The thick women that they have aren't thick enough. Knock it off. skin shaming us. Why should I have to have perfect skin? They're period shaming us. Women come on their periods so much so that they have to make a commercial about men being on their periods. Remember that commercial? That's how unfettered women are in this society. We actually have to make up stuff to be mad about. We have to make up a struggle because we don't have one. Half these women would die if they had to live in other cultures that actually have restrictions. The one half of the women would die, but the other half of the women would be fulfilled. See, women of today are asking for something that they don't know they're asking for. When women ask for ultimate protections, protection from themselves, for protection from their own bad decisions, protections from all of these different things, they're actually asking for the restrictions that other cultures have on their women. In point of fact, if I want to get real specific with what they're asking, they are asking for a system that many people in this country consider to be the most oppressive, which is really not, and that is Sharia law. They're really asking for Sharia law. That's what they're asking for. The women don't know they're asking for that. Today's women do not understand that when they ask for ultimate protections in society and protections from their own faults, flaws, foibles, decision making, and protection from the consequences of her own nature, she's actually asking for those kinds of restrictions. That's what she's asking for. She just doesn't know she's asking for that. And if someone were to impose it upon her, she'd fight it. But let's take a look at something. You know I got a chart. Y'all know I got a chart for y'all. It's time for a new chart. Hey, Dr. Michelle. It's time for a new chart. Y'all ready? New chart. New chart. A new chart. A new chart. Y'all, I gotta do my chart dance. That's a new dance, y'all. My chart dance. Yeah, my chart dance. And they say, why? Tell them that is human nature. Why does it do me that way? And they say, why? Tell them that is human nature. Human nature chart. Both natures are in place to achieve an outcome. That outcome is fulfillment and contentment. We say happiness, but I like fulfillment better. And what does this say? Let's take female nature, since I'm talking to the ladies. Let's take female nature, our insight, And I've talked about every facet of this actually before. Our insight, which is the opposite of provision for male nature, which is his foresight. Pro and vision. Our ability to nest in an environment as opposed to opposing an environment, which is part of his problem-solving nature. Our beauty, which is physical, as opposed to his protection, which is his brawn, which is physical. Our fertility, which is the opposite of his procreation. He fertilizes and we get fertilized. If that's what you want to say. So all of that stuff in about, what was it, 2018, where we had goofball women talking about women had a seed. The nerve. Don't even understand your own nature on a biological level. We had goofball women that like to control this space talking about women had a seed. Why would women have a dang on seed? So who getting planted in then if we the one with the seed? Who the soil? If the women had the seed, who the dang on soil? I'm not even gonna say the goofball that was saying that. The men are the ones with the seed. Duh. This is 5th grade biology. We're the ones with the soil. It's called a womb. We don't got no freaking seed. We have an egg. More appropriately called an ovum. And they was literally on live streams mad because the men in the red pill space was saying that women don't create life, they just incubate it. And it's the men with the seed of life force that he actually gives to a woman. That's biologically sound. That's biology. You would fail elementary school biology if you sat somewhere and said women had a dang on seed. The misunderstanding of womanhood is down to the biology with us. Thank you, JT, for the cash out. Thank you so much. Men are the ones with the life force. And by the way, the eggs are not dead either. It's just inert. It's an inert cell. We have living cells that we are born with that do not reach maturity until we are pubescent. Once we are pubescent, those little ovums come out, usually one by one, hence our cycles. Yay! And those little buggers wait until the sperm swims into the womb and attempts to fertilize that egg by penetrating it and inserting itself within the egg. Thus, hopefully, in 40 weeks, 9 months, for those who don't know that it's 40 weeks, there hopefully will be a bouncing baby girl or boy. I was always knocked to the floor with that one. Women are the ones with the seed. Like, are you dense? Anyway, our chaos, which is the opposite of his order. Women are naturally chaotic, and we must have order imposed upon us. We can't impose it on ourselves. We are highly emotional creatures. This is why we are naturally chaotic, because we are more prone to our emotional space. And as we know, emotions can be whimsical, they can be fleeting, and they do not necessarily apply any logic. So because we are highly emotional creatures, we have a tendency to be chaotic. And he is a highly logical creature and has a tendency towards order. Because we need order imposed upon us, we have another trait that makes that easier, which is submission. The trait of submission actually makes it easier for a man to impose order, and he imposes that order through leadership. Women are naturally selfish, meaning we self-preserve almost all the time, which is the opposite of male selflessness, which is self-sacrificing. Which is why there have usually been male firemen, not females. See, it's not only just the physiology that stops a woman from truly being a fireman, but her propensity to save herself and a man's propensity to attempt to save others, even if he must sacrifice himself to do so. So if there's trouble, he might run to it in order to try to resolve it. She's gonna run from it to save herself. Women are naturally hypergamous. We are going to try to get the best mate, get the best living conditions, get the best offspring, get the best of whatever we can in life, because that aids in our self-preservation. Since men have a selfless nature, they are naturally polygynous because they can help more than one woman and more than one set of children. And best believe the polygyny is self-sacrificing. See, a lot of people think it's just about sex and he's getting all of the pleasure of that, but really it's a lot more responsibility. For him to have to be responsible for the psyches of more than one woman, those women, let's say he has, Islam gives a man a quota of 4. He can't have more than 4 wives at a time. Let's say he does that. He has to talk to them 4 women differently. He has to treat those 4 women differently. Those 4 women like different stuff. They dislike different stuff. One of them likes being taken out. One likes quiet nights at home. The other one's a sex fiend. The other one's not. And he's going to have to adapt himself to these different women and their personality traits and impose order upon them all with his leadership. He's going to have to do that. That's not all fun and games. As a matter of fact, it's mostly not fun and games. Women have power and men have strength. We have power. Women are powerful. Our level of manipulation and ability to finesse energy, conduct it, redirect it, is a power. Men have strength. They are required to be strong, mentally, physically, emotionally. This is why strong and independent is masculine. Women are powerful but dependent, not strong and independent. Women are powerful, but we are dependent. Women pass on a culture. Men create it. Women do not create it because we do not have provision or foresight. Men do. So whatever the culture is that our men give to us is what we will pass to the next generations. Which is why the goofiness continues to go on, because women aren't creating the culture. We're just passing it on like goofballs. Is everybody cool with this chart? Is everybody like with me on this chart? Everybody's cool? Anybody got any particular questions or anything? You love the chart? Yeah, I love the chart too. The chart's awesome. The chart's awesome. A lot of women are challenged on the polygyny part. Here's the one thing, Blessing, for you to understand. Not everybody can do this, including men. Even though polygyny is part of his nature, not every man is willing or really able to engage in that. Which is why monogamy is still a valid form of relationship. Because polygyny was not even for every man to do. It really was for the wealthier men and the men with the best leadership to do. Because it would keep the communities in order. It's there to keep order. So we have a society where there is war and the men have gone off and the women are widowed and the children are orphaned. The men who are the most capable within the groups are to marry the women so that the women do not become harlots or homeless or street workers or sex workers in order to eat. And the children are not aimless, growing up without any father or masculine order to be imposed upon them. So that actually keeps order in the society. So only some women can really do it, and really only some men can really do it. Out of all of the different ways that I've seen people practice polygyny, I may sound biased, but Islam just seems to work the best. I had an issue with it to a certain degree as well. But the other thing that I had to come to understand is that my husband does not belong to me. I belong to him. He doesn't belong to me. My husband belongs to the Most High. That's who he belongs to. That's who owns him. I don't own him. But that's just my personal belief system. And that's how I came to truly understand the purpose of polygyny. And then I was done feeling some type of way about it. So I hope that that helped in some way with it. It's a personal journey, you know, because we don't grow up. Most of us didn't grow up in a polygynous society or a polygynous culture. So we don't really see it. We see the dysfunctional version of that, which is a bunch of side pieces and baby mamas and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of dysfunctional, you know. Yeah. Yeah, Father's Time said the black community practices polygamy and polygyny, but it's a mess. Yeah, it's a mess. Because we do the whole side piece thing and the whole, you know, we do that thing. And the reason why we do that is because that's the nature playing out. That's actually our nature playing out. But because our society doesn't support that, and it actually supports things that go against our nature, it's being given a bad connotation and the results are bad. If that makes sense. So because our society doesn't promote or support actual polygyny, where it can have some structure to it and it doesn't have to have all these lies and all of this craziness and people are hurt feelings and broken hearts and broken families, you know, and all of those sorts of things. Now we got the baby mama and, you know, well, that I'm baby mama number 2, you know, and all that kind of stuff. It's the nature actually playing out. As long as a man is able to, he's likely not going to seclude himself to one woman all his life. He's not going to do that. He's not even biologically designed to do that. And the way in which men love allows him to do that also without treating the women badly. Only a man that's exercising bad leadership can actually mess that up. But if he has good leadership, he understands what he's doing, it can be challenging, but it don't have to be messed up. It actually can work. I've seen it work. I've seen it be messed up, but I've seen it work too. So I hope that this gave some clarity to everyone about why today's women are largely unfulfilled. With all of our freedoms and all of our liberties and all of our progressiveness, we not happy. Haven't found out what makes us happy. A bunch of sex partners don't do it. A bunch of partying don't do it. You know, a bunch of working don't do it. A bunch of money don't do it. Living in a nice place doesn't do it. Traveling won't do it. It's because we're out of our nature. We don't even understand our nature nor our purpose. And due to that, we can't find the fulfillment. And men are kind of suffering from that too, but not as much as women. Women are suffering bad. You know how Tommy Curry said, it's the man not? Feminism made women the woman not. Feminism made women the woman not. It took our womanhood away from us. It really robbed us of everything feminine. And all of our displays of femininity have been, you know, said to be weak or ineffective or something that we shouldn't do. We've been talked out of it. And all of the stuff that we saw in this chart, I actually cover in my book. I know. I had to actually go back and more or less rewrite this book. You know, because I completed it and then it was like, it's not complete. It's not complete. So I got to really complete it this time and give you quality. I'd rather take time to give you quality than to rush and give you something that doesn't help you. Thank you, Will33 said we live in capture society, aka colorless society. Thanks for explaining it. No problem. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I've been talking to y'all and bugging y'all for about an hour. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. But guess what? Bam! Bam, 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 bam. A-game, A-game, A-game. This show has been brought to you by A-game, a natural male herbal solution. So what I need all 92 of you to do is to go into the description box and click the link for A-game at agameherbal.com. And you can get a 10% discount using the code Kendra10. And you put that in checkout. So KENDRA, the number 10. That's your promo code to get your 10% off of your next purchase of A-game. So guys, I don't know what you're waiting on. Ladies, I don't know what you're waiting on either. A-game. Duh. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.
Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.